Welcome to this week's Fibro section. It is today about diet, and I'm doing this outside because the weather's so lovely. I really want to put my sunglasses on because I'm like squinting but then you can't really see my eyes. Not that you want to see my eyes, but you know, you might. So here comes the trusted notepad. Okay, research again, guys, don't forget research. So there are a few of my opinions, but mainly research. Don't shoot the messenger. But again, I'm always happy to have a chat with you in the comments, or you know, discuss things further. Just remember that I am doing all this to try and help, okay? So if you hear noises like this, that's a train. You're just going to have to ignore it, I'm afraid. It's just the joys of being outside. So diet. Eating a balanced diet is a good idea for anyone, regardless of whether you have fibro. That diet should include fresh fruits and vegetables, whole grains, healthy fats, low-fat dairy and lean proteins such as chicken or fish, or an alternative if you're vegetarian. Avoid unhealthy foods, including anything processed or fried, and excessive amounts of saturated fats. Also, limit the amount of salt and sugar in your diet to make sure you drink at least 2 litres of water a day. Heard all this before? So have I. And let me tell you, I don't always find all that easy. One, there's too much temptation out there to eat the wrong things, and 2, you don't always want to eat the right things. Let me turn my phone off. Eat for energy. Fibro can make you feel tired and worn out, as we all know. Eating certain foods can give you more energy. So avoid sweets, which will only give you a quick sugar boost. Instead, eat foods that will give you more energy to get through your day. Combine protein or fats with carbohydrates to slow down their absorption. Choose fresh, whole foods high in fibre and low in added sugars, such as almonds, broccoli, beans, tofu, oatmeal, dark leafy greens, or avocado. Oh my god, there's a big buzzy bee. Alright, big buzzy bee! Big buzzy bee! Big buzzy bee! Oh dear, only happened to me. Right, okay. Where was I? So, try vegetarian. A few studies have looked at how eating certain diets affects fibro. There's evidence that eating a vegetarian or vegan diet which is high in plant antioxidants might offer some symptom relief. However, this diet can be restrictive and it's not for everyone. So I have tried it because I'm not a big meat eater. I mainly eat chicken or fish. I love fish. So yeah, vegetarianism wasn't for me, but might be for you. Who knows? Avoid foods that trigger symptoms. While there is no fibro diet, research does reveal that certain ingredients or types of food may be problematic for those with fibro. These include FODMAPs, gluten-containing foods, food additives or food chemicals, and MSG. Some people do confirm that they feel better when they eat or avoid certain types of food. I try to avoid gluten, and I try to stick to a low FODMAP diet as much as possible. And recently I had a really bad experience when I had a takeaway Chinese on my birthday. If you watch my vlogs, you'll have seen that. And a lot of people said that's because it contains MSG. So you need to try and avoid that now. Keep a food diary to find out which foods seem to trigger or improve your symptoms. FODMAPs. So I'm going to go into more detail about FODMAPs when I cover IBS. But for now, I just thought I'd cover it briefly. They are certain carbohydrates that are fermented by gut bacteria in the digestive tract and may promote symptoms in some people. A recent study found that those with fibro had improved symptoms and quality of life and lost weight when following a low FODMAP diet. It definitely helps IBS, which I said I'll cover more in the future. So if you're not subscribed to my channel, subscribe now, turn on the notifications by hitting that bell, and then you'll know when I upload and you won't miss them. Gluten sensitivity. A 2014 study reported that non-celiac gluten sensitivity, which means someone that hasn't got celiac disease, may be an underlying cause of fibro. Fibro patients who were negative for celiac disease still had significant improvements in pain and quality of life when following a gluten-free diet. Like I say, I try to avoid gluten mainly. I sometimes have it, but it mainly flares up my IBS, I'd say. So, maintain a healthy weight. Right, we're all rolling our eyes. Another benefit of eating a healthy diet is that it can help keep your weight under control. One study found that people with fibro enjoyed a better quality of life once they lost weight. They had less pain and depression, fewer tender points, and slept better. I've got hair in my mouth. Even writing this makes me cross, as my weight loss journey is a long story and one for another fibro section. So stay tuned for that. So what should we avoid? Sugar. Medical literature has shown that eating foods high in sugar is linked to increased fibro pain. Sugar is a well-known ingredient in sweets and soft drinks, but it is also in foods considered to be healthy, such as yogurt. Remember that glucose, fructose and sucrose are all other names for sugar, so try and avoid them as much as possible. Carbohydrates. Refined carbohydrates such as biscuits, many breads, pastries and white rice are digested quickly, causing the blood sugar levels to spike. The effect does not, however, last, and blood sugar soon drops, making you hungry again. When eating carbohydrates, whole wheat sources should be chosen. Unhealthy fats, vegetable oils such as corn oil, safflower oil and peanut oil have an inflammatory effect, especially when used to fry food. I can't say I ever fry anything. I just cook it all in the oven usually. They are present in many processed foods such as cookies, donuts and crackers. Pizza and cheese are also sources of unhealthy fats. Now this is one I didn't know that you had to avoid, is red meat. I don't eat a lot of red meat, but I did have a piece of steak last night, so I'll have to remember to try and avoid the red meat. Fruits and vegetables in the nightshade family such as tomatoes, white potatoes, green peppers and goji berries, dairy products, eggs and caffeine may all trigger symptoms. My advice on all this information that I've given you today is definitely to keep a food diary, figure out which foods could be making your symptoms worse and then avoid them to see if it makes a difference to your fibro. You just don't know, do you? Unless you try. It's very easy to say eat this, avoid that, but not so easy to do, is it? It takes willpower, determination and preparation, which sometimes is not always possible while trying to cope with the effects of fibro. So just do your best. Do your best. Everyone is different. Everyone reacts differently, which I say every time. And that's just one thing I want to ask. Has anyone had any food intolerance testing? Because I had the free one that you can get at the doctors. So they took my blood and they tested me. I think it was for like fish and tomatoes and weird things. But everything came back normal. So I've never had any like paid tests. So I wondered if any of you had tried the paid intolerance tests and what the results were. So let me know in the comments below, because I'd be really interested to know. I mean, I've just listed here a few of the things that could trigger your fibro, but I'm sure there's many, many more. It's basically what people say is to have a clean diet. So by clean, I mean your fruit, your vegetables, nothing processed. But again, like I say, it's easier said than done. You're going to the beach, you're getting a portion of chips or you're getting an ice cream. You don't want to have to think, I can't have that, because, you know, So the occasional thing I think is okay. It's just if you're going to have it all the time. But sometimes if those things do trigger you too badly, then you're going to have to avoid it and be prepared. Okay, so my battery died, I'm afraid, at the end there, so I'm not sure what was said at the end, but don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you think it's helped you in any way, or it can help other people, or you've just enjoyed it, especially the bee moment. And like and subscribe and do all the usual, and I'll see you all on Saturday for the weekly. I know a lot of you have asked me for fibro sections, and I am working my way through them, so just bear with, okay? But make sure you're subscribed and have your notifications on, and then you won't miss any. See you soon. Bye.